One of the major sectors of the economy is the micro, small and medium enterprises. And one of the biggest obstacles that MSME face is the access to capital. How can we ensure that there is an institutional flow of credit to the MSME sector?
So there was some merit in the Reserve Bank of India's priority sector lending and so on. That again, as we saw in the CSR case, where compulsion has in effect helped change behavior. So companies start thinking of CSR if they were not thinking. Those who are thinking about it also add to their activities in that area. The same thing will probably have to continue for funds to flow into the small and medium sector. There are emerging banks such as Ratnagar, RBL, the new bank that has come up, and a few others that are saying, here is an opportunity to lend to the small and medium enterprise and be profitable. But the cost of lending is not cheap for those small and medium enterprises because there's so little capital available. If a lot more people thought that way, that there is an opportunity in lending to SMEs, there would be competition and there would be a reduction in capital. There are some finance companies thinking the same way. But if by a little bit of directive, I mean it's going against the market, but because the market is not addressing all needs, we need to address this through a directive from the regulators. That look, you have to lend to SMEs, and we must on the other side also have that mechanism of large and small working together. We see that working very efficiently when a supply chain is involved for a large company, that they want to ensure that there is capital available, and there are now strategies that finance companies, banks are following to support a supply chain of a large company, let's say a Unilever or a Nestle or something. Their supply chain will get financed much more easily. Their packaging contractors or suppliers and their various product suppliers will get credit easily because they are established suppliers, they are vendors which are good rating and so on. And so they know that there's a market there. The lenders know that the money becomes relatively safe if given to these kind of people. So we will need to work more closely with large companies to say that, look, this ecosystem must function more efficiently. You cannot hold back. Sometimes in the past, the buyers have been very dominating and, in a sense, bullying. They pay after 9 months, for instance, their supplier, and that's why government introduced those provisions, requirements, saying that please disclose where you've delayed payments to small and medium enterprises. But that's not enough. Just disclosure is not enough. There has to be some consequence. There has to be a better system of flow of funds from the large buyers to the small buyers, and the small buyers must have right to collect their money. That right may exist on paper. The Contract Act, as we all know, implementation is a nightmare for everyone. So there has to be a tighter time frame for these funds flows between the two. And a buyer cannot be allowed to exploit a situation. That, I think it should be a cultural change. The law should otherwise drive it through the rights of a seller. But we should not go to that. We should have a symbiotic relationship. The large organization must understand that they have to pay in time. And there are, I can tell you, there are many, and especially in the multinational, where the payment is made bang on time. On the 30th day, there will be a check or a credit given to the supplier. No questions asked. So long as the product quality is met and there's no dispute. But there's no sense of exploitation then, and there's a symbiotic relationship. So the SME sector is more complex. We have also had failures in SMEs. They don't maintain product quality. They have disruption in supply. They are not able to be flexible enough in scaling up when required. And so there's a tension between their buyers and the suppliers. So we need a little bit of help. So capacity building at SME level is also required. I think if we can reduce the regulatory burden on SMEs so that they concentrate on the core of their business, which is manufacturing or converting or servicing their customers and focusing on quality and focusing on productivity, I think we would go much longer away. Unfortunately, these SMEs are subject to state-level laws, and the states are not in tune with Prime Minister Modi and his dream of a ease of doing business at all. They're coming around, but it's taking a longer time, and there's so much corruption there. So clearly, we need to address that on a macro basis, on a countrywide basis, to get more efficiency and therefore more funds flowing into the small industries.